Hello everyone. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art. I am super excited to be here with you today to paint with all of you. Come on in and say hello when you get here. We are painting what did I call it? Books and Blooms. Let me see if I can get the photo for you up and running. I have been having the time, let me tell you, the time with my Facebook Live and my cameras. Glitches every single time I try to come live. And guess what? Today is no different. I see right now that I am glitching. Am I right? Am I glitching? Let me know if I'm glitching, because if I am, I'm gonna get out of this live in just a minute. Just let me know, because it looks like I keep freezing. On all of my Facebook Lives that I go on, I keep freezing. Except one that I did recently. Let me see if I can find my... hold up. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the photo. Give me just a minute. I am here. Come on in and say hello when you get here. Let's see. I think it might be on. Here it is. Say hello when you get here. Let us know that you can see us, and let me know if I am glitching. It's working. So far, no freezing. Yay! Okay. Hello. No glitches, no freezes. Okay, good. All right, well then I'm going to set my phone up here and we are going to get started. It looked like in the camera over there I was glitching. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to show you the picture. Okay, this is my inspiration. It is not, our painting is probably not going to look exactly like this, but I am going to use this as my inspiration today to paint with all of you, and I'm going to keep it very impressionistic. Okay, so I'm going to set my phone up here so I can see comments on the live. And all right, so I'm going to move my camera down. I'm still, like I said, I'm still having issues with a lot of things, so just bear with me, because I've gone down to one camera only for viewing purposes, just because of all the glitches I've been having. And we are going to try to get this set up right so that we can paint. All right, so let me move this out the way. And this is going to be my setup today until I can figure out all of the glitches that I'm having. So we are going to paint on a 10 by 10, okay? We're going to paint on a 10 by 10, and I know it's not the most beautiful picture that you've ever seen. Let me try to get this a little bit. Let's go here. Let's go a little bit lower there. Okay, so we're going to use this view right here. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to start with I started to draw it out, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I go live. So here I am. I'm going to go ahead and pick some of my colors that I want. And one of the colors I know that I really want to start with is kind of like a reddish pink. All right, so I'm going to take quinacridone red. I really like this quinacridone red. I'm almost out of it, and I just ordered some more of it because I like it so much. So I'm going to take some quinacridone red and some white. And I'm going to make kind of like a reddish pink. And I'm going to use that as a wash to start my painting off before I do anything on it. So I'm going to dip it in my water, get it kind of like a transparent color. And I'm going to just pass that over the whole thing. It's only because when I look at the photo, which I'm going to show y'all again in just a minute, when I look at the photo, I know some of y'all are going to ask, why are you using that color as your wash? It's because when I look at the photo, I see a lot of blues and kind of like turquoise colors in there. And so what helps bring out those blues and those turquoise is some type of underpainting that's going to make those colors pop. So my choice is kind of like a pinkish color, and I'm going to use that. So that's why I'm using that color to try to get a nice underpainting is what we call this. Some people don't like to use underpaintings. Sometimes I don't use them. It just depends on what I'm painting. But today is one of those days where I'm definitely going to use an underpainting. And this color is super gorgeous. It's a very pretty pink. And I'm just going to take my paintbrush and just kind of smooth it out all the way across. You can even do the sides if you want, but for time purposes today, I'm not going to do the sides. I'm using a really thick canvas. I'm using a professional grade canvas here, and I'm just going to pass my paintbrush over so y'all can see what kind of canvas I'm using. It's a really nice canvas. I like to use good canvases. It makes the experience of painting a little more enjoyable, and actually a lot more enjoyable. And so that is what I'm going to paint on today. So we're going to let this dry. And while we're letting that dry, I want to show you what we have coming up. If you didn't see in the comments, we start on Monday. This is a 20 by 20. We're going to be painting this. This is actually one of the paintings that we're going to be painting in my membership. Okay. But what I'm doing is, because we paint 4 paintings a month, what I'm doing is I'm allowing people to come in just for a one-time painting for $10 to come in and paint with us just for this one painting. And it's just a one-time fee of $10. So you can see what we're all about on the inside of Jen's Den Art painting membership. So you're going to be painting this. If you join, you're going to be painting this with us starting on Monday night from 6 o'clock p.m., Monday through Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yes, we're going to be painting. We're actually going to be painting for 4 nights. And the 5th night is going to be prizes and celebrations and questions and all of that. So we're going to be painting for 4 nights. And so this is an extended painting. This is a long painting. It's not going to be just a quick, let's paint this in an hour type thing. This is going to take us a while. So that's why we're extending it out for 4 days. It'll be probably about 45 minutes to an hour every night. And you get to paint this with us. And if you pay $10, you get to keep these videos for the lifetime of the purchase. Okay, so all it is $10, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm calling it the Curious Cow Painting Challenge. So come on in and paint with us. We would love to have you join us. So again, let me show you the painting that we're going to be painting. Now this is very busy, but we're going to calm it down. Okay, we're going to calm it down. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just sketch a little bit with y'all. Okay, so let me find a larger photo of this so I can bring it to my attention. And I'm just going to sketch this really fast. I say really fast. I'm going to teach you how to play with drawing. This is still wet. Let me get my play with drawing and sketching before you actually start painting. Okay? So I'm looking at your comment, and yes, if you the template for this is going to be provided to the membership members. You can get a tracing template if you want one, but everyone else, hello Miss Rosie, hello Miss Ellen, and Miss Leanne, and Miss Cindy. Hi, how are y'all all doing tonight? Come on in and say hello when you get here. All right, I think that's good now. And everyone else, we're just going to draw. We are going to have some fun, and we are just going to draw. I'm going to use a charcoal pencil, okay? And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to notice that I have a table down here. So I'm just going to put a line down there for my table. My table actually goes, because of the view that I have, my table actually goes like this and kind of makes like a little angle right there. Okay. And then I have my vases. I started drawing my vases. That's always the easy part. If you just draw your vases, the big items that you see, those are always the easy ones. So we're just going to draw this really, really loose. There's another little vase right here, just to kind of get all the placements here. So then I have some books, and I actually like these books a lot. So I'm going to space them out by drawing the bottom of them first. And then I'm going to come up from there. And this book is touching the edge of this water can. This book is going to go all the way up. Let's get my water can a little bit narrower right there. This book is going to go all the way up to about here. Then we have another book. It's going to go about there. Okay, then I have right in here, I have a book coming across. Can't see the whole thing, but it's going to be right there. All right, this is just going to be flowers. I'm not even going to draw those out. This is just going to be a bunch of flowers. They go up like this. And what else do we have here? We have another vase back here. See, I might simplify this. This might be a little bit too much, but I do need this vase back here. This vase, let's see, right on the edge. I'm going to just get a quick sketch. Does not have to be perfect, okay? The end of the table is going to go about right here. You can see that all the way across. And then, yeah, we're going to have just the base of the table we can see right there. This is going to have a beautiful bouquet of flowers right in here. And that may be all I do. Okay, that may be all I do. I love the background. So this is what we're going to do now. Okay, that's my sketch. I don't want anything else. Yes, exactly. All I'm doing is drawing shapes. That's all I'm doing is drawing shapes. And I'm really just focusing on the main pieces that I see. The rest of it is a lot of floating stuff to me. So it's not worth drawing leaves and flowers and all of that. Actually, when you draw out all of that kind of stuff, and you make a template that has every little aspect of it, it really prevents you from being able to paint. Okay, it makes you become someone who is just coloring in a coloring book if you put every single little shape. And that is not what we want to do. We want to have some flexibility. So I highly recommend that if you ever are looking, if you're using a template, don't trace every single little item in the template, because it's really going to hinder your painting ability. and it's going to make you just become someone painting, coloring in a coloring book. And that is not what we want to do. We're not trying to do like paint by number or anything like that. We want to show some of our creativity. So I really believe you should give yourself some room in that. All right, so I'm going to start with ocean green. Ocean green, y'all. How many of y'all like ocean green? Is that not the best color ever? It's like a mint green. And I'd love to know if y'all use this color. I have it in Masters Touch brand, and then I also have it in, where is it at? Oh, I don't know where it is. But I also have it, I think it maybe Liquitex has it as well. It's just the greatest color ever. It's one of my favorite and my go-to colors for that old chippy paint look with that little mint color in there. Yes, Cindy, you love ocean green too. Next to purple, aqua, Miss Pat uses a lot. That is so good to know. I'm glad you have a second alternative there. All right, so this is what I'm going to do to start this off. this is going to be so much fun, y'all. So much fun. Let me find a good little palette knife for us. Maybe this one's good. That's a little bit too small. That's a little bit bigger. Here we go. This one's a good one. Okay, I'm going to use a palette knife. I want something kind of long that I can work with. But I'm also going to use first I'm going to use a large flat brush. All right, and with this large flat brush, this is what I'm going to do. I'm making sure y'all can see me okay here. This is what I'm going to do. I'm looking at that background, and I'm giving myself an opportunity to first kind of shape everything out. So I'm looking at that background, and I'm saying, okay, I see some really pretty browns in there. So I'm going to start by bringing some of these browns in here. And I'm just going to use my paintbrush at first. Okay. Y'all, I would love it if you would sprinkle my live video out to others out there that may be interested in painting with us. I would love for y'all to come and join me in this fun adventure. We always have so much fun. And after the cow painting challenge, we are going to open up my membership for a few days. So if you are interested in joining, I would highly recommend that you use the cow painting as a way to help you decide. It's only $10 to help you decide if this is something that you would want to be a part of. Thank you, Miss Pat, for sprinkling. Hello. Thank y'all all for coming in. Thank you, Miss Sandra Leanne, for sprinkling also. Say hello when you get here. We'd love to know if you're a first-time watcher or if you've been watching a while. Let us know. Let us know if you're a tribe sister or a mini, or I keep on saying tribe sister, but we're actually now den members. Okay, if you're in the den or the mini den, let us know. Give us some love and let us know so that we can get this video out to more people so they can have some fun like we do in our painting journey. Because we do have some fun, don't we, ladies? Come on in. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just taking a really thin layer of brown and white, burnt umber and white. And I'm just kind of mapping out the flow of the boards. It's basically all I'm doing is I'm getting that design that I see back there. Just getting that design down. See how there's one big board going across right here? Okay, I'm going to show you all the photo again. And you do not have to follow the actual photo. Okay, but this is my inspiration right here. Okay, you do not have to do exactly what I'm doing. So now I'm going to take this ocean green, and I'm not even going to clean my paintbrush off. I'm going to use it with the brown. Okay. Miss Barbara is going on her 3rd year in the den. We are so excited. In the den, 4 years, Miss Sandra. Y'all are awesome. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to start with my paintbrush. Okay, I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm just going to use that really light color of the ocean green and the white. And I'm going to start putting down some of these colors in here. So, we've got some den members watching today. I am so excited. I know y'all love these bonus videos I give y'all, right? So in the membership, I go live twice a week because it takes us usually 2 videos to finish a painting. I go live twice a week, and usually on Monday and Tuesday night, every week. And then, so they get four new paintings every month. But not only that, all of these In the Den with Jen videos, guess what? They get archived and they get put inside the membership as well. So really, you're getting 6 paintings per month in the Den membership. So yeah, we paint a lot. And it's kind of like a Netflix thing, you know. You don't have to paint everything. If you don't like it, if we're painting a horse and you don't want to paint a horse, then don't paint the horse and just wait until we paint something else. Or go in the membership online classroom and find something else, because there's over 300 videos in there already. Find something else that you want to paint, listening to. If all of the videos are old or repurposed, basically archived lives from previous paintings. So you can have fun listening to our banter, listening to our prayers, and you can watch the replay as many times as you want. So you can just have a ball. And we also have acrylic 101 courses in there that take you through every single thing you could possibly think of for acrylic painting, and also just learning the basics of painting. There's so many different things that you can do in there, and I mean, you can just binge watch forever. So it's so much fun. Miss Ellen says the laws are her favorites. Yeah, most people do like the laws. Aren't they fun? We get to talk to each other and see what's going on, like in real time, and you get to ask questions. So, you know, it's really good, really special to be able to do that. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to have some fun, and I'm going to take a palette knife, and I'm going to scrape some of this brown and white, even though there's a little bit of pink that got in there. That's okay. I'm going to take some of this brown and some of this white and some of this ocean green. Okay, that's a little bit too much brown, so I'm going to bring in some more ocean green. Okay, so I'm going to make this color a little bit more white. I'm trying to make a pale, old, kind of rustic-y color. All right, so I'm going to fill my palette knife with that. Then I'm going to take my palette knife and I'm just going to start really bringing in some of that look that makes it look really rustic. Chippy paint look. So I'm just barely touching with my palette knife. Let me go with a smaller palette knife. Let's see. Let's go with this one. Maybe this is what I really wanted. So I can pull. See how I'm shaping all of these pieces of wood back here? I'm following the direction of the wood. All right, and then I'm going to come back with the burnt umber and white. So more of a brown. I want to make more of a. I'm actually going to add a little bit of burnt sienna to it. No, I'm just going to add. Yeah. I better get my burnt sienna because I know me sometimes the color doesn't come out right. So I'm going to grab. Actually, I'm going to grab red ochre because it's the color that I see in front of me. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that red ochre and add a little bit of a rustiness to that brown. That's way too much, so I'm going to calm that down. Okay, much better. Way too much, so I'm going to take some out and just use a little bit. That's a little bit too red. So let me grab my burnt sienna again and get a little bit more of that brown color. Okay, now let's go a little bit lighter. So I'm going to take some white. All right, much better. Let's use that. So I'm not even going to mix it all the way. I'm just going to take some of my paint. And I'm going to come straight down right in here. A little bit darker. Get that. And let's do that in a couple of areas. You can use your finger if you need to. I was watching at 12. I'm sure the solar storm is interfering. I did not. I pushed the live back to 4, Miss Diana. So that's why I'm just live right now I did not go live at noon. I pushed it back. So here we are. Okay, super cool. I really like it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my larger palette knife and I'm just going to use the edge of it. And I'm going to kind of frame out this wood here. Just touching the edge of my palette knife. And right in here. Just make those little areas where you see the seam of the wood. Make them more prominent. Let's use a little bit of black as well. I think that's about it. And then I'm going to pull right here. I'm going to pull some of that darker color to the left. Because if you notice, there's a little bit of a shadow right in there. Let's pull this out just a teeny bit. All right, much better. How y'all like that? Okay, that's going to be my background. And then down here, I am going to I'm going to go back to my dark brown. I'm going to bring in with my large paintbrush. I'm going to bring in that base of that table. It's super dark. So I'm going to use that same color around here. Don't be afraid to put a little bit more paint than what the area is calling for. You can always take it off later. That's what I love about acrylics, y'all, because I have really attached myself to the fact that acrylics, you can just cover things up if you mess up, and you don't have to wait for it to dry. I've tried oils and I'm just too impatient with it. I've tried watercolor and I messed up too much to use watercolor like watercolor is supposed to be used. And so acrylics just works for me because of, I haven't tried, what is it called? Gouache. Have y'all done gouache? Is that what it's called? Or pastels? I haven't done either one of those. I have not tried them. Any of y'all tried any of those other mediums? I'm just addicted to acrylics. I'm telling you. It is just the way to go, in my opinion. I love it. It's so much fun. And now that I'm so invested in acrylics, I have every single color you could ever imagine of acrylics. So let's go a little bit more right here. Like that. Okay. A little bit right there too. It's okay if the pink still shows through. Don't let that bug you at all. All right, and the last thing is this down here is a beautiful blue. I'm going to use my ultramarine blue, and I'm going to turn my paint palette around so y'all can see my colors. I'm going to use ultramarine blue and just a little bit of black. I'm going to make kind of like a navy and a teeny bit of white. And I'm going to start with that color. down here. Now that's way too dark, but I'm going to calm it down. So Miss Jackie says she's tried gouache, didn't like it, loves watercolor. Let's see, I like when you use acrylic paint to do a sort of watercolor. Yes, I'm going to be doing that soon in the membership, and we're gonna have so much fun with that. So that is a lot of fun. That is probably one of my best watercolor adventures, is using acrylics to do watercolors. So, okay. This is going to be the bottom right here. And that needs to be lighter. All right, so what I'm going to do down here with my palette knife is I'm going to make it look chippy. I'm going to take some of that paint. Let's go with some white and some brown again. I'm just going to make a little bit of a yeah, I love this old look. Isn't it cool? Okay, so let's make a few more lines here. Get some white in that. When I start painting, I start talking lower. So if you can't hear me, please let me know, and I'll try to start talking louder. That little chippiness is right here as well. Palette knife can be your friend if you allow it to do so. Okay. Let's calm this down just a tad. A little bit too blue for me. I'm going to add some of that ocean green to my ultramarine blue. And just calm down this bottom just a little bit. Yeah. Now, much better. All right. Super, super, super. Miss Pat says she's used oil. The old rustic paintings. These are my favorites. I love the old rustic paintings. I need to start doing more of those. The old rustic paintings are the most fun. Okay, let's get this vase back here. That's going to be super easy. I'm going to keep it really, really loose. I'm going to take some white and I'm going to paint this in with white. I'm going to let that dry. Let's see, what's right here? Oh, that's okay, I see it now. I see it. So I need to bring in a little bit more of the wall right here. And right there. All right. And right here. So always have a little extra stash of paint sometimes. You just don't get it all the first time. All right, looking good. Looking good. So back here, I started with white, but you can see that a lot of I'm just kind of giving myself an outline. Let's go a little bit wider so that I actually have a base. Right now it doesn't look like a base, does it? Okay. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this blue and a little bit of this brown. And I'm going to bring that color on top. So it's just blue, brown, and white mixed together. Just making it a little bit darker. And then we're going to take let's use this. Let's use Naphthol Crimson. That's a pretty red. I'm going to take that Naphthol Crimson straight out of the tube, first of all. And I'm going to start with it just to outline this area here. Because, you know, when you paint a still life like this and you have a lot of objects, you're painting a lot of just little objects, basically. And so it makes your painting a little more tight when you're working with still lifes like this. Your painting's going to be much tighter instead of like if you're working with a landscape and you can just go free with your paint strokes. These kind of paintings require much more detailed paint strokes. So we're just going to bring all of this in. And this color is way too bright red for me. So I'm going to tone it down by adding some brown to it. And I'm going to pass that back over. A little bit of brown. I'm just using the side of the paintbrush there. So I see that right in this area I need to come in. A little bit more. All right. Looking good. I'm going to try to keep this loose. I don't want it to be too tight. So basically what I mean is my strokes are going to be fast. And I'm going to go in and go out like really fast. So this is going to be a little kettle right there. And then let's get these books. The books are going to be some more of that the dark color. This one. I'm going to bring in some green for that one. I have some sap green here. Very little. Just a little bit of green tone on this book. I'm just trying to bring it very, very little. All right, then the next one has some red, a little bit of an old red look. So, need more red for that. A little bit more. So tell us how long you've been painting. We would love to know. Love to know. How long have you been painting? Or are you painting? Or are you just watching? Okay? Let us know. Connie, where do you live? Oh, are you asking Connie where she lives? All right, so there's my third book. That's just the beginning. Actually, you know what? That book, I'm going to make that book a little fatter so that we have a little more variety. Let's go down here further. There we go. All right, and then we have a book that goes across the top that is like a green, and it actually goes on top of my watering can. Michael had baked chicken with string beans and potatoes. We have, what do we have tonight? We have baked chicken. We have barbecue chicken. But what I started doing, and I wish I would have done this years ago, is I started, what do they call it? Brining your chicken. We did barbecue chicken breast. Oh my goodness. I wish I would have known that years ago. I did not know that technique. It makes such a difference when you barbecue chicken with, if you brine it first. Is that what it's called? Y'all know what I'm talking about? It makes your chicken so much, so much more tender and juicy. Just started to paint. My garden is not coming in yet. Miss Ellen said her garden is not coming in yet. Yes, with salt. You put it in salt and water, and um, you let it soak for at least 30 minutes. But the last time I did it, I let it soak overnight. And oh my gosh, the chicken is delicious. If you have not done that, it's just something new that I just learned about. Y'all make sure y'all do that before you barbecue chicken breast because it makes a huge difference in your chicken. All right, so there's another little book up here. And I'm going to come back and bring in a little bit more work on these books. But I want to keep it really loose. Let me get a yellow, a Naples yellow. Connie, we raise our own chickens and they can be tough sometimes. Oh, Miss Connie, you have to do that. And I just take the chicken breast. I buy the chicken breast at the store, the boneless, skinless chicken breast, because I love chicken breast. And I know this is totally off the subject, but I thought y'all would enjoy this. I cut them, I slice them in thinner slices, like instead of the really thick chicken, and I stick them in a big bowl of water with salt, and I let them sit for at least 30 minutes to however long you want, but at least 30 minutes. The longer, the better. So, delicious. So that's what we're having for supper tonight. Some of y'all were talking about what y'all are eating. Okay, so there's my books. Let's see. We're going to go with this blue again over here on this jar. Now that's way too bright. I want to tone that down. So I'm going to add a little bit of brown to it and a little bit of just kind of like white and brown just to kind of make it a little bit better, a little bit not quite so bright. Michael, you can come in. I heard him open the door to see if I was still live. Okay, very, very much better. I calmed it down with some white and brown. So it's still kind of blue, but it's just not as bright of a blue. I want to do the same thing with the red because the red is too red. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that red and we're going to mix it in the brown some more. And I'm going to tone that down. It's way too bright for me. All right, much better. Much better, much better. Okay, now let's get some good things happening in here. Let's get some of these flowers going. So I'm going to use a round brush. We're going to do a little bit different today just because I want to have some fun. I'm going to use a round brush that has a tip on the end of it. And I'm going to start with my green. And I'm going to bring in all of my pretty green colors. But I'm going to mute everything a little bit. And by muting, I'm just adding like a little bit of brown and white, a little bit of gray into my colors. And that's going to mute my colors a little bit and make them not so vibrant because I really don't want the really vibrant colors in this one. I'm going to keep it really. All right, so this is kind of like an olive green. I'm mixing gray into my green here. And I've got a nice little mess going on. Okay, so all up here, I'm just going to start bringing in my flowers, which are really going to decorate this piece a lot. So I'm just going to use the tip of the paintbrush. And I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in that green, just to calm it down some more. The yellow that I used was a Naples yellow. And then I'm going to go a little bit darker. Okay, and then over here, I'm going to come with some more green. Now, it's not going to be exactly like the photo, but oh, and I forgot my little base right here, didn't I? So I really didn't think that the brine would make that big of a difference, but it really did. It made a huge difference. Hello, Miss Elizabeth. Come on in and say hello when you get here. I'm glad you made it. All right, so let's talk about some other colors that we're going to use in here. And I'm going to use some red. Oops. Some quinacridone red. I'm going to use that first. Just make some little some little roses kind of back here. And then I'm going to add some white to that color and make more of a pink. Let's get this pink coming all in here. Now we want to make sure that we're using colors that are allowing all of this to really pop. So what I mean is my background's pretty, I have to watch that the colors that I use past my background. When I'm on my background, I want to make sure that those colors are popping. So I may have to change some of the colors that I'm actually, that are actually on the photo and just make them a little bit different. But I think this is working. Super, super cute. All right, so let's go into, I need some more white. Let's get some more white here. And I'm going to use a little bit of a different round brush, one that's a little fatter for me. Okay, and I'm going to use that white. And I'm just going to use it really just kind of tapping. Now this green is still wet, which is actually really good. It's kind of tacky, and it'll make for a nice little, almost like these little babies' breaths, or just kind of mixing in with the greens. So I'm just going to tap. And let's get a couple of them over here. I really need these colors to stand out because I've got to make sure that they are visible in front of the background. So I may have to play with this a little bit. And these right here are super big. So that white is going to be a really good color to add because of all of these muted colors in here. And isn't that periwinkle color gorgeous? Watch. We're going to add that color as well. Okay, I'm going to come back and work on this a little bit, but right now I want to add some ultramarine blue and red together. I'm going to mix ultramarine blue and red, and it's going to make a beautiful purple. Okay, but if I add a little bit more blue than red, then I'm going to get that periwinkle color come out. And then I'm going to add some white to that, and then you're really going to see that color pop. There it is. Okay, isn't that pretty? So that's a little bit more purple than I want, so I'm going to add a little bit more blue. And then that's way too dark, so I'm going to add some white. And that's not a bad color. A little bit more white. And there we go. So I'm going to take a lot of that paint off of my paintbrush because I want just the tip to have paint on it. Let's get those pretty purple flowers in there. Purple, periwinkle. I don't know. What are these flowers anyway? They sure are pretty. I know that. Let's bring in some white to help them shine. Oh, that's way too much white. What kind of flowers would these be? I don't know. I don't know what any of these flowers are, but they sure are pretty, aren't they? All of this different variety. And you know what? We should make this pop even more. So we're going to make sure we add some extra oomph to this just to make it even more beautiful. Okay, so that's my first layer of flowers. I'm going to clean that off, and I'm going to come back with much more needed in this. Let's take a big flat brush, and I'm going to grab some black, and I'm going to mix a little bit of blue in it. I'm going to make kind of like a navy blue. Okay, and I'm going to make it very ink consistency. All right, and I'm going to take that color. Let me see if it works. I'm going to flick. I need a little bit more paint. I'm going to flick it with my finger. And I needed a little bit more water in it. That's a little bit better. There we go. All right. That's my little dots on my base here. I've got a few little areas that I need to highlight. And let's see, I'm going to add a little bit of that blue. Nope, that's too purple. Don't want to do that. Let's get a little bit more of that gray in there and that blue. Right in here. All right, I like that better. And then we're going to go back to the green. And we need some more greenery because I kind of hit it all. So I'm going to bring in just some more greenery. I need to just uplift everything a little bit more because it's all kind of hidden. So we need to bring all of this back in. That background is going to make it a little more challenging to get your flowers to come out at you. So we have to make sure we work on that. And that's probably going to be the biggest step. We're going to bring all of this out more. I'm going to bring all of that green out more. A little bit darker in here. I'm going to add a little bit of black to my green, a little bit of water, and I'm going to bring these greens, I want them to be a little bit darker. There we go, much better. Now you're going to be able to see the flowers separate. I needed that green to be a little bit darker in there. That looks good. I'm going to make this little vase green as well. That's going to be the start. And it needs to be a lot lighter. So, very nice. A little bit of red right in here to make that a little bit darker. And I'm going to bring that darkness down in here. That red's still too bright for me. I need to calm it down. And that's just a personal preference. I just feel like it's too bright. So I'm coming back over it again. I added a little bit of green to my red. Okay. So then now let's go back over some of these flowers and let's decorate our flowers some more. So I'm going to take my round brush again and I'm going to go back and make these little poofy flowers, the little baby's breath, I guess. It's all starting to come together, but it takes a while. And this is why you can see that some of my paintings are a little more time consuming because of the level of paintings that they are. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of what we do on the inside in the membership. And you can even do this even if you've never painted before, because we have all of the tools for every level. We have all different, from beginners all the way to advanced painters in there. So you are definitely gonna have plenty to keep you busy if you come on in. Let's make this come out even more. All right, let's go back to these pinks up here. Might need to add some more paint. Super cute. Just kind of fill in those spots. And let's go back to some of this green. Bring some of that down right here. All right. I'm going to work on this base, make it a little bit darker. So it's just basically like a navy. And I'm going to push back this background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a flat brush, okay, something not too big, and I'm going to make a really, really thin wash, okay. I'm just going to use water and some black and white, and I'm going to push this background back some. And what I mean is I'm just going to bring in a really, really transparent color. So I need just like, I mean, you can use let me show you something else that you can use. That'll probably work even better than this. Let me show you. If it would be dry, it would be easier, but since it's wet, here we go. I'm going to use some medium. Let me get a little pan. Put it in. So I'm going to take some medium. This one's not open. Hang on. This one's open. And because I feel like my background is really playing with the painting too much, I'm going to calm that background down. So I'm going to take this medium and I'm going to mix this gray color. I'm going to actually add a little bit of brown to it to make it like a brownish gray. And I'm going to use a lot of medium. It's going to make it like super, super transparent. So what it's going to do, I don't know why I'm shaking. What it's going to do is it's going to push the entire background back. So it's almost like see that how it's just making it much darker? It's almost like I'm glazing it, I guess, is what you could say I'm doing. And watch when we're done with that what it's going to look like. Now that was still wet, so that's when you get into some issues. You got to watch that. So I would do this after it would be dry, and I'm just going to try to show you what it's going to do. I'm basically kind of like antiquing the whole background. Pushing all of those bright blue colors back. Much better. All right, let's see what that did. And even if you want to bring this down some, you can do the same thing down here because that blue is super bright. So I'm gonna add a little bit to that. And then after you do that, if you want to bring the rest of the pieces forward, then of course you would come back like this book. I want this book to be brighter. And that's a little bit too bright, but you get the idea now. And then you bring all of these flowers and everything forward. And that just made a huge transformation. At least to me it did. Did it to you? What do y'all think? I think that's a lot better. This is just standing out way too much to me. So we're going to play with that for just a minute. So what we're going to do is it needs more dimension. Right now there's not enough dimension in it. So I'm going to take some red and I'm going to play with this and I'm going to use, let's see, I've got a little bit of this yellow. There we go. I've got a little bit of Naples yellow. I'm trying to use the colors I have on my palette here because I have a lot of colors. And I'm just going to highlight some areas. Let's get a little bit of this color. A little bit of yellow. There we go. Almost like an orange. So I'm mixing like cadmium yellow in it. And that's a little bit too bright. So let me calm that down with this Naples yellow. There we go. Okay. That's better. I'm going to purposely add some of this orange in other areas on my painting because I feel like there's too much of it here and none of it anywhere else. So I'm coming back in and I'm going to just kind of spread that color out onto my painting so that it blends a little better. It's almost like a rust color. And I'm going to put a couple of little flowers in here that have that color. The color just did not flow with the rest of the painting. So I've got to make it work. And to make it work, I've got to change what I have in some areas. And okay, so now this red piece kind of like it kind of works in with everything else now, and it's not so out there by itself. Okay, this vase, I don't like it, so I'm going to fix it. I'm going to take some white and some blue, like a navy blue, and I'm just going to come back and calm it down. Now y'all see why I like acrylics. And this is all just a personal preference. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more my own. Okay, that vase is too light. I want to make it darker because I want it to look like it's more like a in the shadows of things. So I'm going to go darker with it. I don't want it to be so bright. And I'm going to bring my flowers down to fill in these gaps right here. So I'm going to take a little bit more blue. I mean, that's not blue, that's green. And I'm going to take a little bit of this orangey red and I'm going to mix it in there. And I'm going to pull some of these colors down. So there we go again. I used some of my orange that I've added in here. I'm using it again and I'm using it in my leaves. And that's going to pull some of that orange from here. It's going to make it be a lot more cohesive and the colors are going to flow much better. So just because you have a photo in front of you does not mean that you have to follow the colors of the photograph. You want to really use your skills of color theory, which we teach in my membership. You want to really use your skills of color theory and you want to use that to help you make your own adjustments to your painting and understand why some colors just work and some don't. And that's basically what I've done here in this piece, is show you how to, bring all that cohesiveness together. All right, there, a little bit of orange. Okay, I like that much better. Y'all see where this started and where it is now? It is much more pleasant to look at than it was a little while ago, right? Does that vase have a stem so it's not floating? The vase have a stem so it's not floating. This one? This one right here? Which one? Oh, this one right here? I don't know which one you're talking about. Help me out. Help me out. I'm going to make these have a little. Okay, let me look at that. That back vase seems to be floating. It's actually, I see what you're saying. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to fix that. We are going to make our table go higher and watch what's going to happen. Because I want that vase to look like it's sitting on the table, right? And in your opinion, it does not look like it's sitting on the table. So if we make our table go further back, I need water. Then it's a really skinny vase on the table. Does that help? We're going to go a little bit further. Now, does that look better? I think we did it. I think we did it. Behind the red can. So now, come on in. Oh, I thought you were knocking. So now, it should not look like it's floating as much, right? Is that better? I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Make this a little bit darker. Okay. Yay! So what do y'all think? Y'all think it's pretty good? I think so. Let me bring this back to the front. And I'm going to hold it up. Y'all give me just a second to move my camera back up this way. I ordered another camera, so I should have it coming in this week. Okay. Oh. There we go. Can you see me? Maybe you can see me too close, huh? Let me back up some. Okay, so here we go. This is what we have created at this point. Let's see. Trying to get you. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, pretty nice. Did y'all like it? This was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun painting this because it's that old rustic look and that old vintage feel, and that's always so much fun to paint. So I just want to remind you one more time, if you are interested in joining us in the CAL pop-up paint party, we start Monday night at 6 o'clock. You have lifetime access to the replays, so please come and join us. It's only $10. We would love for you to come and meet all of our painting members in there and get to know us and see what we're all about. And I hope you join us, and I hope you have a great day. And I'm going to check the comments one more time to see if we have any questions about anything. Let's see. Very cool. Love the rustic. Great job. Pretty gorgeous. Yay. You like it? Another one that you did a great job in. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, it still needs a little bit of work, but for now, oh, I like it. It does look really good. It has some really cool colors in it. Really like it. I really like still life too. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for saying it's beautiful, amazing. Yay. All right, guys, I don't see any questions, so I hope you come and join us. I'm going to put in the comments here one more time, I'm going to put the link to our Curious Cow pop-up paint party. Please come and join us. It's going to be so much fun, and you will learn so much because we're going to talk about values. We're going to talk about all kinds of things to help you in your art journey, and I'd love to teach you. So y'all have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.